Inside each of us, an ocean of roaring waves. And amid the endless torrent of water, there's an island. Your toes find the sandy bottom, your feet the dry ground. On that island, an altar. Do you see it? The sacred spot where you lay down your fear, your panic, your obsessions, your loneliness, anger, and suffering. The thrashing rhythm of your soul dies in that place. So leave it there. An offering to the source, a bloodletting price you pay to live in, through, and beyond the floodwaters. The boat you are building loves your sea legs and reminds you that you have oceans within you and that you know how to take the waters one wave at a time until you emerge into your fullest self and breathe air once again. I've been thinking a lot about the book of Genesis, or creation in general. In our Testament, we tell the story of creation in multiple ways. And right now, I'm hooked on the story of Noah, this idea that the author, or the great source, has decided that they don't like this draft. Curtain call, let's start again. That there's this eradication, and that happens in the Garden of Eden, it happens in the Tower of Babel, it happens here, it happens with Gilgamesh, that there's these stories of primordial creation that flower and then fall. But the story of Noah has a different element to it. And I think that one of the stories it wants us to tell, is that God wants to wipe it all out. And we could tell that story, take two of each kind and arky and all those kinds of juvenile ways of talking about it. But if we imagine that the Creator wanted to wipe everything out, then it would all be wiped out. So there's this extra element that's happening, a last-ditch effort of saying, okay, I'm going to wipe it all out, but I'm not going to be able to decide what gets left behind and how it's going to happen. And so God tells Noah, in our story, build a lifeboat. In most lifeboats, you put the things you need, right? You're putting water, you're putting food. But in the lifeboat of this story, you don't get a pick. You put everything in there. Everything goes in this boat. And I think the story is that you're going to need all of it, the things that you like and that you need and that you want, and the things that you don't like, the unkosher animals, the things that don't make life easier. I can't imagine that story, that it works to think of this crazy huge boat in the middle of this crazy huge ocean with everything you both want and don't want. And that in the story it's telling us that you actually don't know what you're going to need for the next creation. But there's a piece of both the good things that are easy for you and the things that are hard for you that will come with you. And I think there the existential understanding is that the seeds for what I want to build next will contain the things that also destroy me. There are always storms in our lives. That proverbial understanding of what's happening with these creation stories is that the world and life are a series of storms, and that there will always be storms, small and large, and therefore we will also always somehow be building an ark to get our way through it. Elie Wiesel teaches that there is a cosmic sadness in this story, that this last-ditch effort of finding one righteous man in its time to come forward acknowledges that we are part of a creator who has regret, who doesn't know what to do with their drafts, who doesn't know what to do except for explode in chaos. And that it's humanity's role to rise to the challenge, to say, yeah, there's going to be storms. Yeah, I have the power to build this boat. And inside that boat, there's lots of difficulty. The difference in this story is that Noah is not a prophet. We never call him that. Noah is a holy person. A prophet is one who shouts out the truth regardless of its implications, who feels the fire of God's wrath, but actually doesn't manifest anything practically. It's just his role. Whereas the holy person's job is to follow God, to inhabit the work, activate the inner divine, and to take on the storm while building the ark. A holy person, both practically in our own interrelational lives and also in the greater spiritual life of our world, is to actively work to mitigate loss, to advocate for change, to promote the sanctity of all life, while also understanding that all the storm might happen anyway. We live in a series of waves, but we also have all the tools for the boats that we live in.
Sing, not sing, knowing about not knowing. I understand that I don't understand, but there's work enough, but there's work here enough, but there's work enough for both of our hands. 39 days, 39 nights, there's no moon on the horizon, no man in sight. 39 days, 39 nights, Kale Yavor, Kale Yavor. Nothing I can't bear witness to, nothing too small to see, nothing that doesn't matter, nothing but you and me. But there's work enough, but there's work here enough, but there's no moon on the horizon, no end in sight. 39 days, 39 nights, comes a Yavor, comes a walk without expecting to move along the road. There really is no limit to the garden of the world. But there's work enough, but there's work here enough, but there's work enough for both of our hands. 39 days, 39 nights, there's no moon on the horizon, no end in sight. 39 days, 39 nights, comes a Yavor, comes a Yavor.
So that last song, 39 Days, is a new thing that I wrote, kind of coming out of a conversation that Miriam and I had talking about Noah. And I was just starting to think, like, if you were on that boat, it would just be forever until it was over. It would just be forever. So whether it was day 3 or day 39 or day 39,000, you don't know that day 40 is coming. And how do you live not knowing? And of course it made me think of pandemic and like when would that be over, or any kind of life situation that you find yourself in. Like, how do you deal with not knowing how long it's going to be? And I the only thing I could come up with is that you do the work, you do what's in front of you, and you try to be with the people who are near you and try to take care of them. And that's the work. That's the work, whether the end is tomorrow or whether the end is 10 years from now. And, taking comfort in that takes you into the next song, which is You Are Not Alone. We're all of us made for each other.
We are all of each other. You are not alone. You are not alone. We are always made for each other.
I wonder if my neighbors look over at my garden, sighing, remembering the vibrant Japanese maple, the intricate path made of hewn stones, uncorrupted artistries of greens and yellows and sometimes blues, years of patient labor. Then, now, a battered landscape, thick with fleshy foliage, ravaged in a few short seasons by our neglect. How their hearts must sigh, watching a curated masterpiece become untamed. Perhaps, in the same way, God looks over at her garden, sighing, remembering when the battle was just over a couple of trees and how every creature had a name, a purpose, a time. And now, without that careful attention, this garden became unbridled, turbulent, more thorn than petal. In my garden now, birds, rabbits, snakes, frogs govern the feral grounds. How uncivilized, barbarous, overrun, letting the earth have her land back. Trying, this time, for the wilderness to lead us, unfurling into grace.
Shema, 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 Shema. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema 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 Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Shema, Shema, Shema.